Greetings, mortals, and welcome. Please present your tickets for validation. Thank you. Your existence has been acknowledged, and you have been granted access every Thursday and Friday. You will be accompanying your guides, Krista and Brandy, along with a world-renowned guest. They will be exploring an intriguing tendril of what humans refer to as reality each week, as they strive to advance you further down the path to the truths of your physical earth and what lies on the other side. Remember to please keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times, and do not exit until the craft has come to a complete stop.
Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We have Paranormal Paul tonight. He's always like just a trooper. Brandy's service is choppy. She's getting the remnants from the hurricane. So Paranormal Paul to the rescue. Always hops in at the last minute. Literally the last minute.
Yeah. Yep.
Being hurricane Francine.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what? We need the rain. It hasn't rained in quite a while here, at least.
Yeah. No, you're right. We do. Yeah. I think we're supposed to get 2 inches here in St. Louis. So.
Wow, that much?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Means you too.
Yep. We're all getting rain. Everybody gets rain.
Right?
Isn't that what Oprah always used to say? Everybody gets a prize or something. Everybody gets rain.
Right. There you go. Only thing we're not Oprah. We're not Oprah. So before we get rolling, there's a couple things we need to talk about. And I'm going to let Brandy talk about her normal stuff here. How about that, Brandy?
If I can get through it. All right. Blinds and Booze is offering up a free t-shirt every month. All you have to do is share us out. Make sure you tag Blinds and Booze on our Facebook page. We'll keep a tally, and at the end of the last day of every month, we'll have a drawing, and you'll get a t-shirt. So this is all the way up until the last day in December. So make sure you get out there and share. On October 26th, now this is going to be a fun one. We're going to have like an all day, all night kind of paranormal cryptid thing. During the day, we're going to have like a cryptid paranormal 101, a paranormal 101 all afternoon. That's going to be, a super awesome event, just to sit around and talk and find out all kinds of interesting information. We're going to have a super guest with Greg Ogles and even our friend Paul Anthony from Paranormal Among Us. We also have Paranormal Dark, who will be speaking at the event. And then, if you want to, you can stay, have dinner, and then ghost hunt with us all night long until 2 a.m. So it's going to be a very long day and night.
Yes,
so if you need any more information, go to Eventbrite to Blondes and Booze. It should be the first event that pops up, and you can get all your information there.
Yep.
Yes. And that should be a good event. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And, the museum's always been good to us. So it's going to be a fun event.
Looking forward to that one for sure.
Me too. And then tomorrow night, we will be at the Haunted Castle House in Brumley, Missouri, and hopefully we get enough service to go live. Yeah. And we'll do our Friday night show from there. So if not, you guys, Brandy unfortunately is unable to attend Brumley. So if not, you will have Brandy and Tex doing a show tomorrow night, the two of them.
I won't. I still won't be here. My brother has now gone into the hospital. So I'll be dealing with that. And my daughter's homecoming is tomorrow night. So I got to make sure I run her back and forth while going to the hospital. Thank goodness they're only like 5 minutes apart. So,
wow.
So, I can just run back and forth. So it's, mean, and it is what it is. And it's unfortunate, but, you got to take care of your family for sure.
That's right.
Family first. Definitely.
Absolutely. And we all know that. We all know how that works.
Yep.
So I've been off for a few shows myself. I've, had a lot of stuff going on. So I appreciate everybody filling in for me too. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we have a good show planned tonight, and we have Brad and Barry Klinge, and most of you guys probably remember them from the TV show Ghost Lab. And they're here today to talk about some of the things that they have going on and just what they've been up to all these years. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. Hello. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. We all made it.
Hello.
How are you?
How are y'all?
We're doing good.
Good. How are you doing?
We're doing very good. I'm just getting over the flu, so.
Oh,
gosh. I had the flu yesterday, a little bit today, so.
Oh, wow. That's no good. Well, prayers that you get to heal and feeling better.
No kidding.
And glad it's just the flu and not COVID making a comeback.
Yeah, COVID, flu, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
That is true.
Now it is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now it is. Yeah. Most people probably remember you from Ghost Lab. And, we can kind of open up the show and start with that. And what really, when you guys got my respect was you guys were different in the respect that you guys didn't go with the narrative, and you guys have told the story with, like the TV shows and things like that they do today, because there's some TV shows that fabricate a lot, and you guys put your foot down and you said, heck no.
Yeah,
that's right. In fact, we do I sound okay, or am I a little blary, or
you're great?
You're fine.
Fine. We just wrote a book. In fact, it just came out once. It was a long time coming. It's our third book actually, but it's the second in the series from our first one, Chasing Ghosts Textile, which talks about like when we were kids all the way up until we got the TV show. But this one is called The Reality of Paranormal Reality Television, and we talk about for season one, everything in season one. So every chapter is pretty much a different episode, and we talk about the fight with the networks, the things that we didn't agree with, the things we did agree with, that what went well, what went bad, but we basically tell it all, and
pranks,
we do that all the time.
You didn't see. There's all sorts of evidence you didn't see, pranks, just things you don't know about. It's kind of like a tell-all type of book, and it really paints the picture of what it's really like in the production world. I know a lot of people go, "Oh, I got a show," and we know how it all works. We know how production companies work, and we know how the TV business works. And it's kind of refreshing. We were in Michigan Paracon a few weeks back, and we talked about this on our lecture. And a lot of people came up to us and said, "Man, that was so refreshing to finally hear what it's really like." Because a lot of people just kind of sugarcoat it or kind of hide behind it a little bit, but we don't care. We're just like, here you go.
We never have.
Right. Right. And that's where I was like, wow, these guys are different. Like their evidence, it's legit. It's real. You don't have to wonder where a lot of these TV shows, did they really capture that or was it rigged, type thing. And
one of the best compliments that we ever got, I think, when we were on Ghost Lab is someone, I can't remember, his social media somewhere. They said, "I know this evidence is real because a lot of it's so bad." And it's like, yeah, it's true, because it's like you're not going to get that, 100. You're not going to get that full blown bodied apparition walking by a camera. You're gonna get whispers, and you're gonna get every now and then you hit the jackpot and you get something good.
Sure.
But that's just the whole thing, is you're not going to get that, every single time you go out.
Right. And people don't realize, they think ghost hunting is all fun and exciting, and it's just, you're that's going on. And that is furthest from the truth. Most of the time you just sit in a dark room by yourself and there's nothing going on,
Probably one of the most boring things I've ever done in my life, to be honest with you. I mean, you sit for hours hoping for like a split second of something that's going to make you go, well, that was, what was that? That was cool. Okay, back to the boredom.
Right.
But it is what it is. If you enjoy the paranormal, you just enjoy how it works, the things you get, then it's a good time.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you mentioned you guys were talking about pranks that you guys pulled. I'm a big prankster. What kind of stuff did you guys do?
Let's see. One of the ones we did is the guy that drove our Ghost Lab. He actually pulled it with my truck. His name's Pat Henshaw. and the guy's scared of his own shadow. I mean, he's literally legitimately scared of everything. And so we're at the Myrtles plantation, and we're actually staying in the sharecropper's cabin, like a separate little cabin from the main house. And it's late, we just got done investigating, kind of stirring things up. We're all going to bed, and the production crew was staying inside the house, and they kept texting Pat, "Hey, come on up here. We're partying. We're having a good time. Why don't you come on out?" They kept enticing him, and "Hey, come on." But one of the stories in Myrtles is the doll. There's a room with a bunch of dolls, and the dolls move. They move to room. They just move, and freaked out Pat. Well, he finally said, "All right, I'll come out there." And so he opens the door, and they had lined all the dolls on the porch of the cabin. So he comes out, and there's all these dolls staring.
It's like 3 a.m. There's moonlight. You're in the middle of the swamp, and there's these dolls staring at you. We thought we killed Pat at that moment.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I'm just getting ideas. Thank you so much for that.
There's a lot you can do with dolls, man. Especially when there's stories of dolls that move, and it's endless.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dolls, I actually just had somebody message me literally 30 minutes before the show that they have a haunted doll that they want to get rid of. So we were just talking about that before you guys jumped on. Told Brandy, reach out, find it a home.
Yeah, I've got to find it a home. In the message that we got with it was she had bought it, and then the people blocked her after they sent it.
And they blocked her. So kind of weird.
So I was just, can you destroy it? Can you burn it? It's like, why do you have to ship it off to someone else? You know what I mean?
Right.
I always just wonder about, if a doll truly is haunted, why does it have to go somewhere? Like, you just end it right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the doll is the vessel. Get rid of the vessel. You know what I mean?
Yep. Kind of like the Dibbuk box, like he pawned it off, put it on eBay, and look what
do you think
we know the real story. Funny you mentioned the Dibbuk box is the person that originally owned the original Dibbuk box, the one that the movie's about, the one that Zach Baggins purchased and all that.
You talking about Jason?
Jason, his mom was our a teacher in high school. You
guys were at that paranormal thing that we put on, and Jason was one of the speakers there with you guys.
Right, because we had met, and it's just a coincidence that his
Jason's
mom.
Jason's the son, right?
Jason's the son,
The other Haxton is his name Jason?
Yes.
Okay, I was getting confused. Yeah, his mom was the actual art teacher at our high school.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and we got talking to him about the Dibbuk box, and he actually came down to one of our events down here in San Antonio. He brought the model of it, and it's pretty cool.
Just to hear the stories firsthand from them about, their eyes are bleeding and like just all the different kind of stuff, and they had to bury it eventually on their property, and then I think when Baggins came to buy it, they actually they had to remember where they had buried it, and then they went out to go try to find it, but we knew his mom, and we just knew the whole, and what he did. He was he's a scientist. He's a professor, in fact, and
he's like a historical curator,
To hear these stories from someone like that, it's you would think that they would be the most skeptical person in the world. And he's like, I'm here to tell you that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah. And if I remember right, he wasn't even like, he had it at home and things like that. And then it escalated, I think, wasn't it? And then he ended up burying it or something.
Yeah. Just over time, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. He's a good guy. We've had him on the show too. Like I said, it's there's so much out there, so much to the paranormal, and the Dibbuk box is one of the stories that I definitely believe. There's a lot of the big stories that you hear out there, and you just hear bits and pieces to it, and I don't believe it's all legit. But that is one that, like you said, like he's a very credible guy, and I believe all of that did truly happen to him when he had that box,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question. I do have a question though. Do you think that people, like when we were talking about the haunted dolls, like just end it right there? Why send it off to somebody else? Do you think that people are kind of scared of the repercussions that may be come with destroying something, or they are afraid of letting something loose, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know why. And this is just the logical side of me saying, I don't know why, if there's something attached to it, like some sort of energy, some sort of spirit, or whatever you want to call it, if why is sending it somewhere is it not going to be attached to you? It's like, you know what I mean? If it's attached to you in particular, it's going to be attached to you. Because if it's using the doll as a vessel to get to people, it's not going to sit there and haunt the doll, in my opinion. We've had things follow us home, and we're not saying we don't believe in that kind of stuff, but I just don't think that transferring a doll around is you're sending it, with it. I think that whatever it is, especially if it's intelligent, it's going to have the intelligence to stay, whether you put it in a UPS box and ship it off, or whether you burn the doll. Doll is just a piece of cotton, you know what I mean, or porcelain or whatever.
Right.
A lot of the cases are just kind of BS, anyways. I mean, a haunted doll. You've seen too much in the media and the movies, and it seems like when you go to these conferences, like everyone's got a haunted doll. Well, why is it haunted? How's it?
When
haunted?
I never heard, when growing up, I never heard of a haunted doll.
This doll is haunted. It's like, how does that happen? How, I don't know. I just
you have to look at the things like Annabelle and like the movies and stuff like that. The haunted dolls really started to come, in the light after the movie. Is that because no one said anything about them up until that point, or is it because everybody all of a sudden thought their dolls were haunted? So, the media and television movies, it plays a huge role in the paranormal and just the mindset of people and what they think and believe. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely is. Absolutely is. You guys did that for a while, and then you guys have your own podcast and books, and like you guys are just like super busy. You speak all over the place and hold your own events, and like holy cow! And you guys have day jobs too, correct?
Oh, yeah, we have. I'm a teacher. Brad owns his own IT company. We have regular jobs. We don't do this for a living anymore. We did it for a living when we were on Ghost Lab, but we just kind of stay in our lane and just kind of do what we want to do, and we're not looking for fame and fortune. In fact, this past week we had a production company of the hundreds of production companies that have contacted us over the years, and it's like, I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to do that. I want to do this, and so we had to kind of let them down and say, yeah, just don't want to do that.
Actually, I haven't let them down yet. I haven't sent the email off yet.
If they're watching,
you have now.
They're letting it down. So, I mean, nothing bad against. It's just we got the contract. It's 30 pages long. They want this. They want that. It's like, no.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, I know you guys are just super busy, and you guys go all over the place, and I mean, I've heard you speak multiple times at multiple different locations, and even like the Ray County Museum, you guys come over there and did the big ghost hunt. And what was really cool with you guys that night, and it was an event that we had, and the public was there. But what was really cool is, I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember doing the EVP session throughout the whole building?
Yeah, we do that at a lot of places that we guys.
Yeah, like that was like really cool, because that's not a small building, number one, and everybody. I mean, like you could have heard a pin drop,
Well, it's great because you have all those people spread out. They all have recorders, and our voices are loud enough to carry. That people, if everyone's quiet, you can have 15 different, 20 different versions of an EVP session, from the front living room to the back bedroom to upstairs to what was going on when this noise was happening, or this voice or questioning or whatever.
Yeah, and that was really cool. When Paranormal Paul, he was at the museum for the first time here a month and a half ago, and he got scratched.
I did. Up in the Civil War room, we just like three of us were up there, and 6 feet apart or something like that, and somebody saw something underneath the table that I was standing in front of, and all of a sudden I feel something brush against my leg, and I look down, and there's like 5 scratch marks going up my leg.
Yeah.
So,
it's just, it happens. You guys ever get scratched or anything?
Brad has been.
One time it was actually on Ghost Lab, and it was in New Orleans, and it was the old mortuary, and we were upstairs, and during Hurricane Katrina, this place was flooded. The first floor, everything was flooded because it's right off of Canal Street, and a lot of the vagrants in the area, they would homeless, they would shack up in there during the hurricane, and they were all stuck on the second floor, and several of them died. While remember, it was really, really bad in those buildings back during Katrina. Then there was one homeless person that they had said that the police knew that was up there that they had hauled out of there, and we were kind of provoking for her. And Barry had a thermal camera on me, and I was kind of provoking. On the thermal camera, you can see my neck just light up like a Christmas tree. So when the heat signature is hot, it gets brighter. And we went over there, and I actually had 3 scratch marks from under my earlobe all the way to underneath my collar, and it was bleeding.
Oh wow!
It wasn't just a scratch; it was actually bleeding, enough so that Barry went and found some Q-tips and took a swab, trying to
like the ghosts have DNA. I don't know.
Yeah.
But nothing ever happened with it. But I did take a sample of it, and we wanted to send it off to see is there someone else's DNA in that blood.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never
never came to fruition though. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea was there. Do you believe when you get scratched? So for me, my belief is it doesn't always mean that it's a negative type entity. I believe that maybe they're just trying to get your attention or something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's just maybe that's the only thing they can do is physical touch, or maybe they're just they were a jerk in life, they're a jerk in the afterlife. It's just how they respond. I don't think it's a demon or that whole thing, but I agree. It's just I think it's just someone just trying to get your attention, and
and why is it like the neck all the time, and why is it always seems to be that way? I don't know. I've always thought there may be certain physics rules. There's laws of physics that apply to this life, and I think there's laws of physics that might apply to that life. And maybe that's the only the skin on the neck is thin. It's sensitive. It's going to have, it's going to have more punch if you do something to it. Maybe that's what they're going for. Why? Right. I don't know. You can theorize by anything, but I've known a lot of people that have been scratched like that. And I've always been skeptical until it happened to me. There's, my hands are down. The thermal saw it immediately light up. So it happened on camera. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Barry, to to piggyback on what you were saying, that, we were the room that we were in, the spirit had opened doors on its own.
It was a Civil War room.
I remember.
And we had the door open, and I kept saying, we'll leave when you close that door, and it kept saying, get out, get out, get out, and we kept saying no. So maybe that was, it wanted to show us who was boss, and say, you get out, or else I'll scratch you more, or something like that, maybe. So
could be like I said, it's the afterlife, it's the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just will never, no matter how many EVP sessions we do, no matter how many investigations we do, we'll never know the true answers until we are on the other side. That's how it works. It's just,
was I wrong?
Yeah. Orbs are ghosts. Oh my God.
The only things that are ghosts are orbs.
Okay. Yeah. Just won't know until that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. What is you guys have been all over. I know you guys have been all over the world. You guys recently got back from Australia. I know that.
I know.
A little jealous there. But out of all the places that you guys have been to, what is the one place that you would just love to go back to that was like, wow, that place is just, awesome, crazy, active?
There's lots of places, that we've been to, like Alcatraz. Of course, you'd love to go back to Alcatraz prison. Some of the, we love the famous haunts, but we like the not so famous haunts. We found some of our best evidence at some person's house out in the middle of the country, and it's just those are some of the places that we would like to go back to, like even before we had Ghost Lab. Kind of revisit those places and see if it is still. That's kind of what we're doing with our new show, Beyond the Lab. We're actually visiting some places that were on Ghost Lab And they were also, we did before Ghost Lab to see, can we find the same evidence? Can we get different evidences that things settle down? Have they ramped up? So that's one of the things where it's not all about investigations on our new show, but the ones that we do, they're kind of that. We're kind of taking it beyond the lab and kind of seeing if we can stretch it a little bit, see and find out more stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. What about a place that, is there a place that you're like, no, I won't go back there?
Well, I mean, no, as far as like scariness, I mean, if it, if something terrible happened or whatever, I'm all for going back 100 times.
Yeah.
And I know it's getting torn down, I think, as we speak, but Bobby Mackey's. Yeah. I'll just say it right now. And this may be just me, but I've been to thousands of places around the world, and we catch something, or there's something weird happens. That was the one place where absolutely nothing happened over a couple of days. Nothing.
Real? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I can't say, well, and just in the short amount of time that I was there, if nothing happened, then it's not haunted. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I would probably never go back, because there was the quietest, like nothing happened at that place.
And that's surprising, because I guess again, TV makes things a lot better than they really are. But it's that's supposed to be a real big hotspot.
Well, have you ever been there?
I have not.
It's an old dirty honky tonk that was about to fall down, and the place smells like an ashtray, because it's the people smoke there. Everybody I think smokes there, and they have been for the past 50, 60 years, or however long it's been open. But I think the first show that was down there was like Ghost Adventures again. And there's a place, I think it's called Hell's Gate or Hell's Portal or whatever it was, down in the basement.
The basement, yeah.
It's literally just a crack in the concrete.
It's not even a basement. It's just like an under area, like open to the outside. It's just a piece of like a hole in a bunch of rocks. It's like a pile of rocks is what it was. And I was like,
yeah. And I say, I don't know why, but because the show, everybody went there, and oh my God, it's so haunted. I laid in the gate to hell and this and that. You're like, you laid in a broken piece of concrete? Okay, more power to you. And on top of the fact we didn't find anything, that's probably one place that even if it was not being torn down, we probably wouldn't go back.
Yeah, gotcha. I can understand that. You mentioned about like nothing happened at a historically haunted location. But, that's the thing with the paranormal, it's sometimes it's active as all get out, and the next day there's nothing, absolutely nothing that happens. And why do you think that is? Do you have a theory on that, or?
We kind of treat it like a battery, almost like just energy, and so when your battery kind of drains down, it takes a while for the charge the battery back up. So you might be there one night and it's like, oh my God, all hell's broken loose. And then the next day, not a peep, but it's just that energy is dissipating somehow and just not coming back until sometimes it comes faster than others, sometimes it comes slower than others. It's just we don't know that how that works, but I really think there's not a shelf life, but like there is a time when it is, and I think also this with atmospheric conditions. We have a lot of our, we don't use ghost equipment, we use traditional scientific equipment, barometric pressure gauges, humidity data loggers. We use all these things that collect atmospheric conditions so that when we go back, we look at our evidence over time, like over lots and lots and lots of investigation, we can start maybe seeing a pattern. Well, hey, when the humidity was this level and the temperature was around this level, this happened. Or when the EMF was at this level and the temperature was this level, this happened. So it's like that's how, I won't say we're never going to prove it, but I said that's how you get closer to maybe making it predictable, which we have in a lot of cases. We've actually done experiments where we can predict that something's going to happen. And we've done it time and time again. We get on Ghost Lab, we do that at our investigation events. It takes a lot of data, it takes a lot of time. It's not like just walk in one night, you have a good time, I call an EDP, and that's it. It's like it has to go. If you truly want to know how this stuff works, then you have to put the time in it and more data. It's just this is how it has to be, and unfortunately, nobody really has the time for that.
Yeah.
Tried to make the time for it, but I think that's what you have. You have to be diligent. Want to really prove the paranormal.
I know people I've been on investigations with, go to events and whatever, and they'll see me a couple years later and they're like, oh, you know what? I never went over my audio that night. And it's like they didn't even listen to it, for one. It's so that you can't. They just want that thrill in the moment. I think a lot of people, they want something to fly across the wall. They want a ghost to appear in front of them. They don't want to put in the work, of the hours and hours of listening to audio or eyes glued to a video screen to see what you can get. But that's nothing against people, because not a lot of people have time to do it. Hell, we don't have time to do that, but we find the time.
Got to make the time.
Yeah, you got to make the time.
Yeah. We like when we do private cases, that's what I prefer to do over these big locations. I like the thought of helping somebody either live with it or we figure something out. But we don't just go in. It's just not like a one night investigation. It takes time, and as you said, you have to go over every little piece of evidence. And I always tell people, listen, you're not going to know tonight what's going on in your house. I can tell you that. We have to. Sometimes it takes weeks and several trips back to that location before, and we do our research too. We'll look up history on the, past owners. And I mean, we do a thorough job. And I feel like a lot of people have shied away from that. Like they like you said, they're in it for the thrill of the moment. And, that's it,
And most times they're highly disappointed because there's not a lot of thrill when you're sitting around in the dark most of the time. And I think that's another bad thing about television is, when we're filming Ghost Lab, we were at a place for like 3 solid days, 18-hour days, solid, like trying to get stuff. Well, they got to condense that down to 22 minutes of airtime, and they put the highlights in there. So yeah, it does look like we walk into a place, we ask a couple of questions, we get an EVP. It doesn't work like that, but they see that and they think that. Now I'm spoiled because the first EVP I ever got, I literally walked into the place. 1 minute EVP session and got something. So I guess I'm a hypocrite by saying that, but no, I just lucked out. Was all.
It's society today. I mean, you get on TikTok and you're flip, video. It's like the attention span is gone. It's like if I don't, that thing does not impress me in 2-3 seconds, I'm moving on. Same thing with ghost hunting. I'm up here in this jail cell. Nothing. It's all quiet. Nothing's going on. Let's get out of here. It's like it's instant gratification that I gotta have, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Right. Well, one of my favorite investigations of yours is the one that you didn't even do on TV. It's the one that you've been discussing with us, when you come on time and time, and it was about the missing girl.
Right.
And, catching that EVP. We have a lot of new viewers. So could you run through that story? And is there any updates or anything on that?
Yeah, so back in the 90s, early 90s, a girl went missing in Gilmer, Texas. She was 17 years old. She worked at a video store in the middle of downtown Gilmer, which is up near kind of like Tyler, Oklahoma border, up that way, up northeast Texas. And she, boss said, hey, can you drop off the bankroll at the bank, which is right across the street? Yeah, sure. She leaves work, never seen again. The next day, they found her car still parked in a different spot at the video store with the tire slashed. And all sort of just like a soap opera. The sheriff did it. The boyfriend did it. The crazy family down the road killed her. Just all these different leads and just craziness. So we didn't know about it. I never heard really about it. And we put out an ad one day because we were thinking about, we call it Paranormal with a Purpose. We want to put our paranormal skills, audio skills, things like that, to like find something, prove something, almost like a missing case, a murder case, something like that. And so we said, put an ad out there on Facebook, and one guy answered us, and it was from Gilmer. And he said, yeah, come on up. We're going to go to the video store where she was last seen. It's not a video store anymore. It's like some other store. We got access to it, so we're about to head up. Well, before we head up, we actually contacted a psychic friend of ours, Katrina Cooper out of Houston,
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling us things like just weird stuff. She was remote viewing. I see red dirt. I see a red car. I see
metal in the ground.
Myrtle Beach, Carolina. I see metal in the ground. So all this meant nothing to us. About a few days later, the guy calls us back and said, "Hey, there's been a break in a case. Some person tipped the police and said that this person knows who did it, and it was this person's dad. And she grew up all these years hearing the story that her dad was involved. And so they actually called the cops. They went out to this piece of property. The cadaver dogs actually made two cadaver dogs made 2 hits on decomposition in an area. They just kind of spread the dirt around. It's kind of like the Keystone Cops. And no, nothing here. They left. So we actually got permission to go there to the property. Now this property, we find out. Guess who the owner of this property was back in the day? It was the girl's video store boss. He owned this property.
Wow.
And so a lot of things were just clicking together.
Yeah.
We went there and we went to this tree. We had a REM pod and we had some other things. It was out in the middle. We're out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, we noticed when we get there.
Oh, that's right.
Red dirt. The dirt's red because it's that clay dirt.
Mm-hmm.
There's a red vehicle, and we found out that the owner is from Myrtle Beach.
Wow.
And when we're digging around in the yard, there's all these little chunks of metal because there used to be a metal shed out there, but it's like they chewed it up or something, and all these little metal pieces are all on the ground. So every single thing she said, as random as it sounded when we knew nothing about this place, was all right in line to where we were.
And so we put the REM pod by the tree, which is where they actually got the dog hits at, and we started asking questions in the EVP session. We had recorders going, and Brad was asking, "Hey, if you're here, make the REM pod go off," and it would go, start going off. And I don't know, 2, 3, 4 seconds into it, I say, "Hey, can you shut that off?" And it go off. We did that a couple times. I mean, like on command. So we're still not really impressed yet. We're saying, all right, this gets a little funny. So there's this chicken coop right there and it has a bunch of chickens in it. It has a duck in this chicken coop. This duck starts going like nuts, like wah, wah, and just like crazy. And I jokingly said, "Hey, if that's you messing with the duck, make that REM pod go off." It starts going off.
Wow.
Said, all right, you know the routine. Turn it off, and it goes off. Within about 2 seconds, you hear a voice, and it's a kind of a smart-ass teenager tone. Said, "I'm literally 5 feet away from you."
Wow.
Clear as day. And we're like, and we didn't hear this at the time. We left, we went back to our hotel. We were going over evidence, and then literally, Brad was in one chair, I was in another chair. I had stuff on my computer, so we're like looking at each other. And all I saw, he's popped his head up. He's like, "Holy shit, we just caught the Holy Grail," and it clearly says I'm literally 5 feet away from you. So that's when we talked to y'all. I think up there at our theater. Well, we went and we actually dug. Brad knows a guy who lives near there. He had a backhoe, excavator. He showed up. I brought Greg Lawson, the paranormal detective. I brought Katrina, the psychic, with us. We all went up there. We dug about a swimming pool size hole, and found nothing.
Well, we found some weird stuff. We did find tarps, and we found burnt material and things like that. And so it's not to say, I mean, this happened 30-something years ago. It's not to say that at some point in time they couldn't come back, dug the body up, took it somewhere else, burned it, whatever the case may be.
Well, we were 5 feet too far left.
We were literally 5 feet away, whatever that means. And maybe we were literally 5. Maybe if we just went 5 feet that way and dug the swimming pool that way, we could have found it. But
it's still an active case. The guy that gave us that case, he still contacts us. He says, like to get us back up there, but I don't know what else we would do. I mean, we can go back to the property and do more EP sessions. We actually took that voice. So this is how we operate. We took that voice. We actually found her best friend from high school. Still lives there. We brought her over to the video store, the X video store. She sat down. We played that EVP for her, and she started bawling, crying. She said, "That's her voice. That's her." So she actually ID'd her voice from that EVP, her best friend.
Yeah.
So that just gives a little more credibility. And the place is like kind of like Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, Boss Hog running the show, running lots of just just corruptness and just craziness going on in that town.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, you played that EVP for us.
Mhm.
Yeah, we played it.
And that was like definitely a Class A EVP. Very,
definitely a smart ass teenager saying, "I'm literally 5 feet away from you." I mean, just
yeah.
With the head
Like,
test.
like
you
how
had the
dumb
head
can
bob,
you be?
5 feet away from you.
Well, I'm glad that they're still leaving it open. I mean, because something else might come up, or I'm just glad they're leaving it open and not closing it out. Because it was out of everything that I've ever read, watched, or seen from you, that one is the one that sticks with me. That investigation, that's the one that I'm just. I don't know. I'm very interested in that.
It's still active, and the players that are possibly involved are still living in town. In fact, the dad that was implemented, he knew we were there investigating. So it's kind of like this danger level. Like, we were actually in town, and we were on the square, and the picture came across our Facebook, and it was someone took a picture of us at that moment. I mean, that second in time popped up on Facebook, and we're looking around. There's nobody around.
No one around.
Someone's snapping photos of us in this town. Like, was chasing us. Cops kept.
So that's creepy, though. Seriously.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's a big cover up. There's some higher ups that know what happened. And it's just you can actually go. Her name's Kelly Wilson. You can go to. There's actually a Facebook site called Justice for Kelly.
It was a Dateline NBC episode one time.
A podcast about it. If you really want to know all the details, it's Justice for Kelly. Look that up, and there's a podcast out there that talks about all the different rabbit holes that this thing went down.
Yeah. Wow. That, like I said, that I could see where, almost, you guys both have families and stuff too. It'd be different if you're single guys, and, then it wouldn't be a big deal going back. You're seeing your picture out there. Okay, that's just me. But, I don't think I would go back and continue if there's some wonkiness going on with the higher ups, and you just never know,
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was definitely interesting for sure. We've never had that experience before.
Yeah, that's scary stuff right there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Brandy, I know you have a question for them.
Well, that was my question. I was like, oh my goodness. But anyway, so what have you got going on now? I know that you're like, are you still doing the Gettysburg trips every year, and how is that going? Because there's a lot of stuff coming out of there. I don't know if it's an uptick in activity or what.
If you go to our website, klingebros.com, it has a list of all the events. So like next month, starting the first part of the month, we're going to be in Napanoch, New York at Shanley Hotel. The following weekend, we're at Gettysburg. 2 weeks after that, we're at Jefferson, Texas. A week after that, we're in Waxahachie, Texas. We'll be at Atlanta this year in March. We're looking at some other West Coast type events, maybe in April, May. We'll be at the Parapsychon up in Ohio, the OSR. And then, of course, Lone Star Paracon in March 28th and 29th. We're working on that. So, that's just the event.
I don't even have everything on the website yet that we're doing.
And then we're writing books still. We just, like I said, our third book just came out about a month ago.
We did a 3-city tour in Australia a couple months ago, back in June. 600 something people came out at for our lecture at the auditorium. There was probably like 800-900 people for all the different events combined. We were in Melbourne, and then we went to Adelaide to do stuff, and it's just crazy. Our schedule's crazy.
Nice. Is there a place that you guys haven't been to that you really want to go investigate?
What's odd is we've never been to Waverly, as popular of a place that is. I think everybody and their brother has been to Waverly. We never have.
Haven't been there. Waverly haven't been there. Yeah, there's a lot of places we haven't been. It just never come around. But we not necessarily stay away from those places, but like I said, they're very, very commercialized. A lot of people go there, and it's very expensive now. And our events, if you notice our event, we try to keep them super affordable. We keep them low numbers. We don't have a lot of Gettysburg, there's 25 people going to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
You're getting a full meal investigation of the Farnsworth House. You're getting a full day of Gettysburg, battlefield tours.
Battlefield tour, yeah.
You know,
we're your tour guides.
Yeah, we're your damn tour guides. But those are our events, and like I said, we go to Virginia. We do that every summer. We huge Civil War guys, lots of Civil War battlefield tours, investigations, dinners, parties. And so we try to make them our events like destination events where you're not just doing paranormal stuff. You're checking out the local area, you're checking out the culture, the local haunts, the local stories.
A lot of history.
Lots of history. That's how we like to do our events. But we have a Patreon page now. I don't know if you've noticed on our Facebook, we used to put a lot of our content. We don't put anything on Facebook anymore. We get on there, advertise different things, but we have a Patreon page, the Klinge Brothers. And everything we do is going on there. Our new show is going to be on there. Our lectures that we do go on there. We do Zoom calls with our members on there. Yeah. We go over old evidence with thing. We talk about history, places, all this content. It's $8 a month, and you get all of that every week for something coming out. So that's kind of the route we're going as far as our content. That's why the whole TV thing. We're like, we want to just keep it simple. Just do this. So the Patreon page is, if you want to see what we're doing, really what we're doing, that's the place to go. There's lots of content on there right now. You go to the Patreon, the Klinge Brothers.
In fact, our entire 2-hour presentation or show, or whatever you want to call it, that we did in Australia is on there. The full thing. Oh, wow. It's in 6 parts because it was too large to upload in one thing, but it's like in 6 parts.
It goes from our kids, how we started, and tons of evidence. It's all about.
We talk about this Gilmer case in it too.
Yeah, we talk about the Gilmer case too. Yeah. Play the EVP, you can hear it on there. All the evidence that we caught from Gilmer are on that lecture. But yeah, that's the route we're going. It's easy. We have about 55, 60 members on there now. It's still a small community, but like I said, every week you're getting 2 or 3 posts a week as far as content. So
awesome. It's definitely worth checking out, and that is one link that I did not add into the description of the show, and after the show I will add that. So
yeah, it's patreon.com/the Klinge Brothers.
Yep. Okay. Yep, and I will add that to the show description. So
it seems like Patreon is the way a lot of people are going, because there's more don'ts on like YouTube and Facebook than there are do's. So I can understand why you would go to something like that. Keep it like,
Right. We thought about YouTube, and we were going to go YouTube. That was kind of the route we're going. But YouTube is such a huge uphill climb. You got to just bust your ass every day. You got to have the cajillion numbers to really make a difference as far as financially. Right. But the Patreon way we like it is, it's like our fan page. If you like what we're doing, and like I said, you may not like what we're doing, but you have the choice to come on there, and it's a very small fee. You're getting a ton of stuff for that fee, and it helps us out. It helps us to bring you more content.
Right.
There is cost. When you go out and do stuff, there is cost. There's all the travel and things like that. But it just we're not making tons of money from this thing.
Yeah,
we do it because we love it. We do it because we like to meet people and go to places, and that's what allows. But Patreon, and we also don't do the levels. A lot of people do the different levels. $5, $8, $20. Ours is $8. Period. Everybody pays $8 because everything. There is no different levels, so it makes it easier on us as well. But yeah, Patreon that's our baby. That's kind of where we're heading with our stuff. That's our channel, I guess you want to call it.
That we haven't looked into Patreon yet, so maybe that's Brandy and I need to look.
Yeah, you need to, because it's an instant, like you say, you can take your fans, and you can get out of it whenever you want. If you pay your $8, you can quit. There's no contract. There's no.
You can come back 3 months later if you want to.
You can do whatever you want to do. You can set whatever level you want. You can make it $3, $5, $1,000, but whatever you want.
I think there's a minimum. I have to be like at least $3 or something like that. I can't remember.
But it's just an easy way. And like you said, your Blondes and Booze podcast could be on there. It's like our thing is like, if you want to see our stuff, I mean, here, this is where it's at. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
we're not giving it to you on Facebook anymore. We're not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the Facebook algorithms are horrible. We're not
Yeah.
we're not reaching the audience like we need to be. Patreon,
And
you're a member, you're getting it.
YouTube's like Facebook, where it's where you put a video out there, and unless it has a certain tags or certain amount of, it doesn't go anywhere, and people don't know about it. And unless people actually hit that subscribe button, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. When I watch YouTube, I hardly subscribe to anything.
Yeah.
I just watch the videos as I go, and that's what most people do.
Well, we would appreciate if you guys would subscribe.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just me with
I hear you.
I don't like that. Bear said, just flipping through TikTok and flipping through things and watching things as you go.
Yeah.
Yep. I totally understand that. Totally understand that. It was funny. Brandy and I were talking about when we were at the Haunted R and your presentation that you did. Do you remember that?
It's one of my funniest memories of you guys.
The Tesla coil.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying Tesla coil, but I say testicle. It sounds like testicles.
Yeah.
We have this giant testicle going, and they're like, "What?"
Well, everybody in the audience is like, is chuckling. You know, everybody's laughing, and you're up there just talking away. You know, we weren't laughing at you.
In a Midwestern accent, we would have said Tesla coil.
Right.
Coil.
And we would have enunciated each word, and everyone would know what we're talking about.
Right. And you know, it was so funny because you guys were going through your presentation, and you know, and we were probably sitting about 5 rows back, you know, and then we're watching everybody, and they're all looking at each other like, "What do you say?" And then I forgot the lady's name, but she was sitting in front of me, and she goes, "Did he just say testicle?"
That's my Texas draw, I guess. So.
Not only testicle, a giant testicle.
A giant testicle.
A 6-foot testicle.
It was too funny. It was too funny.
It's one of my favorite memories, anyway.
I'm glad I can entertain you.
Right. It's like you were talking about the Tesla coil, and testicles came out, and then Dr. Rebecca Foster comes in with meat sack. You know, that she was talking about our bodies just being a meat sack. We say vessel, I guess that's just more politically correct or something. But she says, we're just meat sacks. And I was like, okay, we're on a theme today.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Ghost Lab used to have to put subtitles on Barry every now and then. He speaks English.
Especially when I get tired, I mumble a lot, and you can't really understand what I'm saying.
That's funny. Too funny. How long did you guys get to spend over in Australia? Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, 10 days.
That 10, 11 days, yeah.
Wow.
It was a quick deal. We got there the next night. We talked at this huge theater, and then a couple days later we did.
The next night we did.
We did a local prison, abandoned prison,
Mm-hmm.
and then we did a hotel / bar. Did a presentation. Then we went to
the Black Rock House. It's
Black Rock House. Went to another old house. And then we flew to Adelaide, and we went to an actual criminally insane asylum.
Oh, wow.
It's abandoned, called the Z word. But we did a thing there, flew back home, and then next day, flew back home. It was 16 hours.
We had a few days in between. We did go look at the kangaroos, and
the Phillips Island,
Phillip Island
sightseeing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And our wives went, and Brad's son went, so it was a little family vacation. So
yeah, how cool is that?
they're actually Bill Tabone, who brought us over there, and his family, they're actually coming here in 2 weeks. They're flying here. They're going to do a big U.S. tour. They're stopping here for about 4 days. We're going to show them Texas, and then they're meeting up again, and they're going to be going to that Gettysburg event with us. So
Very cool.
They're coming to check out the States. So.
Yeah. Let's touch on Gettysburg really quick, because I've never been, and it is on my bucket list to go, because I am a Civil War reenactor. Well, I used to be. I don't do it anymore, but I've studied a lot of the history there and the haunted locations. So I'm really interested. Can you guys talk about the orphanage that is there? Because I heard it is like super, super crazy, like one of the most haunted locations there in Gettysburg.
Yeah, so it used to be the Soldiers National Museum, and it's right across the street from one. I mean, the battlefields are everywhere. It's right in the in the main part of town, right across the parking lot from the Jenny Wade House. But what happened is after the Civil War, there was a lot of after the Battle of Gettysburg. Really, there was a lot of orphans. There was a lot of orphans that their fathers were killed. The mothers couldn't handle anymore, or even whatever the case may be. There was just a lot of orphans, and there was an orphanage there that these displaced kids from the war were at. Well, along came this headmistress out of nowhere. Really, her name was Rosa Carmichael, and she was very, very mean. She chained the kids in the basement. She'd like bread and water, and treat them like just prisoners. Put them in old holes, like well holes and stuff like that, and leave them down there in the dark for days. And a lot of complaints and stuff came around for her, and they came after her and they put her on trial and everything. And she ended up disappearing. And the funny thing is no one knew where she came from, and no one knew where she went. It's almost like she was the devil herself that just kind of came in and blew out, and no one to this day ever knows. Well, the basement of it's an office building now on the top, but it's the basement that's like the part that everybody goes, and it's still down there, and dank dungeon type. You go back, the AC units and the plumbing and stuff is still down there, but it still has the areas where they say that she used to hold kids up in the crevices and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people, I mean, I actually saw something with my eyes when we were filming Ghost Lab there. It just looked like this giant, I hate to say like a sheet in my eyes. It looked like just kind of like a sheet blowing in the wind. I hate to say like a ghost, but like a laundry line or something like that in a sheet. And it just kind of went by. And the weird thing is our infrared camera that was on it at the same time, we would thought it would have caught it because I was looking right at it. It didn't catch it. But the weird thing is that the time actually jumps like 20 seconds or something like that. So something happened in that time where it made the time jump. We don't know what but that was weird.
That's weird.
Other people on our events, we had several events there. People just claim just all kinds of weird experiences, and they don't want to go back down in there. The emotion that's in there, and you can still do investigations down there. It's very, very small area.
Yeah, it's literally just a basement. That's it. You don't really investigate anywhere else. It's
Really?
just you walk down a flight of stairs. It's maybe like a typical basement. That's it. That's the only place you really investigate.
I had no idea, because from what I've watched on TV, it looks like it's the whole building, and it's
Now the whole building was the orphanage, but as far as access to it, it's just the basement.
Yeah.
But that's apparently where she did all the bad stuff was down there.
And you can also investigate Jenny Wade House, which is right across the street. So they killed in the Battle of Gettysburg. So
right. That's not very big either, though, is it?
Super small. It's 2 stories, but it's very, very, very small. But it's really cool.
You ever been to Villisca?
No, I have not.
Oh, I was going to compare it. It's about the size of Villisca Axe Murder House.
Gotcha.
Very small. Very small.
It's got the bullet hole still in the door from where she was shot. It's pretty cool. It also has a basement as well.
Okay. Wow.
But the battlefields is where it's at. That's where we've caught crazy evidence. And over the years, we found out that my great grandfather actually fought at Gettysburg along with his brother.
Wow.
That was his first battle. He fought at Devil's Den in Gettysburg. But like I said, we found an EVP at Devil's Den. That's kind of what led us to do a little bit of research on family. I had no clue that we had a relative that fought there. That's how we found him, was through an EVP.
That's really cool.
He actually fought it everywhere. I mean, that's what we did the last couple of summers ago. We followed his footsteps. Chickamauga, Gettysburg, Wilderness, Spotsylvania, all the huge major battles. He was wounded and died 3 days before Appomattox. And we found he was buried in a mass grave in Farmville, Virginia.
Yeah.
We went there, and you'll probably see a book about that come out sometime. Our passion of following him and his brother through the Civil War.
Wow. Very cool. Next time you guys, if you guys come back to Missouri, holler at us, because there's a really interesting haunted battlefield right in mid Missouri that I've got EVPs of cannon fire. I laid in my Civil War tent and listened to horses running, and there wasn't any horses running. It was really, really cool. And they still do reenactments there every now and then. It was the Battle of Centralia is what battle that was. So it was a pretty interesting battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. That is interesting though. I mean, that would be pretty cool. Get out there in those old tents and just kind of camp out in the middle of the field, and just hear what you hear. I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. I'd do that.
As long as my tent had air conditioning and access to like restaurant catered food, I'd be okay.
I'll tell you what though, we're going to Gettysburg October 11th and 12th, 13th. Mm-hmm. We're getting to do something that not many people have ever done. We're actually staying on battlefield proper, what's called the Triangular Field, which is probably some of the heaviest fighting in the Battle of Gettysburg. It leads up to Devil's Den, a little round top. It's the farm. It's called the Bushman Farm. It's exactly where my grandfather marched through. He literally walked through that yard of that barn that we're staying at.
Wow.
We're staying there for 3 nights, and man, we're going to do heavy investigating there.
Wow, that's interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah,
we're excited about that. Like I said, they just opened them up. You can actually book at the different farms that are on the battlefield.
Through the National Park Service.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So, are you guys going to be staying in like campers, or are you guys actually going to?
No, we're staying in. They converted it to like a B&B.
Yeah, 1850s farmhouse.
Yeah.
Now it's all nice inside. I mean, it's been modernized, but it is the farmhouse that was there during the battle.
Yeah, boy, but that place is pretty active inside.
Big time.
Yeah, that would be. I would love to go there. One of these days, Brandy and I will get to one of your events.
We go there every year. It seems like the last 3 Octobers we've gone there. Early October is a great time. It's great weather. It's nice and cool, beautiful days. Mm-hmm. We do it every year.
And we give you the down and dirty tour. I mean,
we talk about troop movements, and this was happening here, and these people went there, and throw in a couple of ghost stories, and we take you where our grandfather was and where they stood, and it's not just driving by in a bus and over here. I mean, we get out and literally walk where they walked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, did your grandfather make it through that battle?
He made it to Gettysburg. He made it all the way to 3 days before the surrender at Appomattox. He made it through every major battle. 3 days before he was wounded, he went to a hospital in Farmville. He died about 6-7 days later.
Wow.
He didn't make it. He was 3 days shy of making it all the way through the Civil War. And he's buried. So when the Union troops took over Farmville, this is on their way to Appomattox. They took over Farmville. They took over the hospital. He became a POW at that point. When he died, they took all those soldiers and took him out, and they buried him in this massive ditch. And just put the earth in it. It's a really nice park. They got some monuments there and different things, but we literally found where he was buried. And it happened the first time we were ever there. We didn't know this. I was doing some research. We're there on his birthday. The whole day. It was weird.
Wow. See, I don't believe in coincidence.
Oh yeah, I don't either. We're drawn. I mean, it was meant to happen. It was just so weird. We're there on his birthday.
Yeah,
so we've been there 2 or 3 times since then. We take our tours there. We actually one tour we took them there and showed them all that. And so we take you like these obscure places too. That like last year we went to a house that was has 150 bullet holes still in it. A private house we got access to. We do investigations on the battlefield. I mean,
you're talking about the one in Sailor's Creek?
Yeah, Sailor's Creek. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's cool. That's what we do.
Yeah, Brandy, maybe they're one for next year. We'll have to plan on that.
Yeah,
yes, we're gonna have to get it in now. We're already gonna see them in March.
We'll have to let you know because they sell out quick. I mean, we that thing sold out in 3 days when we put it out. So it's been sold out the entire time.
And a lot of times I'll put it out to like an email list, like people that have gone to our events before. I don't even really advertise them a lot of times, but I'll keep you all on the list and give it out to you. We're also hasn't been officially yet, but we're thinking about going to Fredericksburg, Virginia, either April, May, or like July. We're going to do another dual investigation at 2 different places. We're going to do a Fredericksburg battlefield tour. We're going to go to a party that Friday night. It's this old throwback arcade place in front of our own, and it's gonna be good. Gonna be a lot of fun. So we're also thinking about going to Arizona, an old mining town.
Oh wow!
Sometime maybe in April. Working.
Oh,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. So it's a lot of cool stuff coming
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys definitely stay busy. That's for sure. You guys ever been to Malvern Manor?
Never been there.
Mm-mm.
Really? You guys have to go. That is a crazy active location. We
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes from Villisca?
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do events there, at least one a year. But it's actually out of like haunted locations. It's in my top 3.
I've heard a lot of cool stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Johnny Hauser a lot. And he's always talking about it.
Yeah, Johnny and Josh, they're real good friends. Yeah, we actually have the both of them coming on next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be good. Yeah, what do you guys? Let's totally switch topics here. What do you guys think about like other things in the paranormal realm? UFOs, Bigfoot, elementals, things like that.
We've had experiences in all that. Cryptid, UFOs. Not so much.
Not so much the elemental. Maybe not. I mean, maybe we didn't know what we're dealing with. But
in New Orleans.
Oh, that's true. That could have been.
Yeah, it's in our ominous book. We had an elemental in a basement in New Orleans. But yeah, we've had a couple of UFO experiences. We've had a really cool cryptid experience when we were kids here where I live. We saw an actual Thunderbird.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Scared the shit out of us. I mean, it's like, it was a pterodactyl. I mean, we're just in shock.
Remember like how big it was or color or,
purple.
anything like that?
It had the beak and the hammered head.
Wow.
It had like the webbing, webbing his wings. I would say wingspan was, I don't know, 20
easy 12, 15 feet.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
Yeah, he kind of, when he flew, he kind of flew through a creek bed. It had his back to us, and he was like, "What?" I was squawking, and we took off running. We were on our bikes, and we hauled ass out of there. But later on that day, in the radio station, they were talking about truck drivers had seen the same thing in that general area. So we weren't just seeing things; other people saw it too. So.
And you said that you were young, you were kids when you seen that, and we know like eagles and hawks, birds of prey, they prey upon small things, and for something being that big, you think back now, like maybe it was looking towards you guys as prey,
Well, we were hiding because that's what we thought at the time too. Yeah. We were like down in the bushes.
When it kind of went out of sight, we could hear it still when it got out of sight. Kind of looked at each other and was like, all right, well, no time better than now. Let's get our ass out of here. Just on our bikes, hauling ass, to home.
Yeah.
But, it scared the hell out of us.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Did your parents believe you when you told them about that?
No.
No. What's funny is my parents were with me when I had my Gettysburg experience when I was 17 that basically started this whole thing for me. But, you have to understand the dynamic. My mom is very... very old school, very religious, very, and you just didn't bring up stuff like that. You didn't bring up the weird and whatever, because she would just immediately, My dad really didn't know how to read him. I mean, he was fun and everything, but he never really talked about paranormal stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we just didn't bring it up. We just, kept it to ourselves and talked to each other about it. And here we are, 40, 45 years later. Still doing this stuff, but our mom knows all about it for sure. Now.
Yeah,
she's a fan of ours now, kind of secretly.
Yeah, is she a believer?
I think deep down, maybe yeah. But she doesn't like to hear it. She doesn't like to. My dad's been dead for 22 years, and there's been some things happen here that I live. This is the house that I grew up in. We both grew up in. My dad lived
where he's sitting now was a bedroom. We were kids. We had bunk beds in that bedroom. He's sitting.
Bunk beds like right here.
Wow.
That's cool.
But there's been some things with my dad's. Just something happened that my dad or my grandma also lived with us growing up. She passed away, and so there's been some things with her being here. So, but my mom's like, yeah, whatever. But I think deep down she's like, oh.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe there is life after death, and that kind of thing. So it's crazy stuff. You guys had any UFO encounters or anything? Alien?
Yeah. We had Barry and I, we have another brother. He's an older brother. When I don't know, what was I, like 9 or 10 also? It was probably around the same time we saw the bird, actually. It was around that same time. Yeah. We thought we were coming back from the movies and on this country road, and we thought we saw the Goodyear blimp, but then it disappeared, and then it like was on one horizon and then disappeared. Then it was all of a sudden on another horizon, and then all of a sudden it was above us, and it wasn't the Goodyear blimp, and we got the hell out of there. Probably one of my, if people say, like, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you? It's me personally is a UFO story. That, I hate to say, I grabbed the book. If you get the book Ominous, we wrote this book, and so it's like all the stories. It's all the stories that have happened to us that are just too bizarre that people wouldn't even believe, but they're absolutely 100% true because they happened to us. And this story is in this one when my wife and I, my oldest daughter, she's 26 now, and she was like 3 months old at the time. We're staying at the house, right down the hall from where Barry is at, 2 doors down. And it was like 2 a.m, and we were in bed, and my daughter was in a crib across the room, and this light came through the window, boom, just like 10 train lights, and this sound is shaking the house. And there's a lot of stuff happened, and it was like he felt paralyzed. I belly crawled underneath the light because I literally was afraid that if you touched the light, it was a sensor or something, and they'd suck you up into whatever it was out there. Grab my daughter with one hand, and it's the whole experience. My wife and then she'll swear to it today because she was awake. If she wasn't awake with me, it would almost been like it was a dream, but it 100% happened. But
so there's a quick question here regarding that. Deborah Mueller asks, is proximity to an Air Force base possibly?
1 mile.
Randolph Air Force Base is literally 2 streets over.
Yeah, 1 mile. It's actually where they house Project Blue Book.
Yep.
Randolph Air Force. Where pilots go to train is Randolph Air Force Base.
And trust me, growing up in that house, I can tell you every jet, but what it is by the way it sounds, by the way the engine sounds. I can tell you exactly what it is because I grew up around it.
The runway.
This was not
about 3 blocks out this window is the runway.
Wow.
This was not an airplane. This was not a helicopter. This was not anything like that. But my wife, she goes, "Get up and look out the window." I was like, "Hell no, I'm not getting up and looking out the window." And this lasted minutes. It's not like
just no, hell no.
Minutes it was lasting.
Wow. That's scary. That really is scary. That's my thing. Like ghosts, I can go sit in a room by myself, sleep in a haunted house by myself. I'm fine with that. But
I don't want to give away too much of the story.
Yeah.
But the whole story is in here, and like I said, all the stories in here, you're gonna read them and go, "What the hell?" There's no way that is true. And
you go to Amazon. It's all on Amazon. All of our books are on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that's $4.99 on Amazon right now. So
and there's also
the cool thing about it. There's an audio version that our friend Deborah Wilson, who's on Mad TV, and she's like the voice of Daisy Duck on Disney and stuff. Now she's a voice actress. She read the stories,
the audiobook,
and I put like sound effects and all that stuff, so it really brings the story to life.
If you want to buy the book, I'd buy that because it's good. She really sucks you in.
Wow.
See, and that's right up my alley because I'm always on the road and I'm always traveling by myself, and I do audiobooks.
Me too.
I love
highly
audiobooks.
recommend that one. It's like 3.5 hours long of audio of different stories. It's 10 different stories, and I would recommend it even if I didn't write it.
right. That's okay. Are any of your other books on audio?
The Chasing Ghosts Texas Style is also that's on audio as well, and that's the original audio when we were with the publishing company. We have the rights to the book now. It was originally a published book, and they did it all, but that audio version is still out there and available.
No audio version for the new book.
Reality. No audio version for this book. That's what I got up a second ago. This is the reality of reality paranormal television. There will be an audio version of this coming. It's just not out there right now.
Very cool. And I know your books, people can buy them through your website too, and that is in the show.
You get autographed copies through our website. You can buy them on Amazon, but yeah, we'll autograph. If you buy it through our website, we'll autograph them and send them out to you.
That's awesome. Yeah. And see, I buy a lot of books, and just about every conference I go to, anybody who's wrote a book, I probably own it. And I don't like getting them on Amazon because I like them personalized. Mm-hmm. You know, so for sure. I have a lot of books that way, for sure.
Right. Right.
Go ahead, Brandy.
Well, I was just going to say, since we only have like 14 minutes left here, let's talk about the Lone Star Paracon and who you got coming to that and what's that all about. Because, I mean, Blondes and Booze are we're going to be there. So we want you to just explain it to them and see if we can get more people to come. It was an awesome event last year. I'm excited.
I was going to say, I have to say, like, you know, Brandy and I have met a lot of people, well-known people in the paranormal world, the cryptid world, and we don't have fan moments. I did at your conference, and that was Thomas Winterton. The one and only time I had a fan moment.
Thomas, I hate to burst your bubble. Thomas won't be here at this one, so
yeah, that's all right.
Cancel plans.
That's okay. I mean, that's okay because, you know, of all places to run into him, we ran into him in an elevator. And I normally don't, you know, lose my words a lot. But unfortunately, that day I was rambling like an idiot.
It was at the hotel.
It was bad.
Yeah.
The hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a very nice guy. And I'm a big fan of Skinwalker Ranch. And to be honest with you, we love and adore you guys, but he was a big draw for me to come to that one. That I told Brandy, out of everybody there, you know, several of them I'd met several times already. It's like that was the one that I was pretty excited to meet.
Yeah, he usually stays at like UFO conferences and stuff like that too. So that's why we wanted to bring him out there. Just, you know, it's a little bit different. So paranormal conference.
So Lone Star Paracon, it started last year. It was our first one. It's a charitable event. 100% of the profits that we make go to a charity. Last year was Special Olympics. This year it's a charity called Moms of New Braunfels. What they are, it's a women's group that helps out families in need. They do toy drives. They you know, someone's car breaks down, they fix it. Just this kind of community service project type place. They're going to be the recipient of our funds. So it all starts on the 27th of March. And that's an investigation at the Yorktown Hospital, which is a hospital, abandoned hospital about an hour and a half from here. And the Wraith Chasers are going to be there for that.
They're good guys. Nice. They actually came to the museum, the Ray County Museum, and I met them there. They're good guys.
Chris and Mike will be there. We're selling 50 tickets. I have maybe 10 left. It's almost sold out.
That's awesome.
The next night is our VIP night, which is we're going to be getting on a bus, and we're going to a town over called New Braunfels, Texas. It's a big German town, and we're doing a big German meal at a German we call it Krause's is the name of it.
Like a beer garden.
Music, German food, all that, and then we're going to eat, have a good time, and then we're going to go over to it's called the Heritage Village. It's all these old buildings that have been brought to this property, old like general stores, schools, bars, things like that. And we're going to do a joint gallery reading with Katrina Cooper and Dana Stricker. They're going to give a dual gallery reading in this old general like 1860s
dueling psychics.
Yeah, like dueling psychics. Yeah. We'll have a complimentary beer and wine, music and desserts, things like that. So that's that night. And the next day is our main event. We have our vendor hall. We'll have about 60 plus vendors. We'll have our speakers, all our celebrities coming will be speaking during the day. That's actually free. It's free admission to get into the vendor portion and the celebrity portion. To watch the speakers, it's a $30 ticket. That's it. There's 9 speaker spots. So, and it's only $30. Now I'll read the names. I had to roll up my notes and figure out who's all coming because I can't remember offhand. But so it's Chris and Mike, Richard Estep, Heather Taddy, Shane Pittman, Mike Ricksecker. Shaw Martinez and Ben Wolf are actually the audio guy and the director photography guy on Ghost Lab.
Cool.
And they're actually coming to let you know what it's like to film a paranormal See, they also did Paranormal State.
That'll be cool.
And Psychic Kids. So they have a wide range of experience in that filming. So that's kind of interesting to listen to them. King Gerhardt, which y'all probably know.
Yep.
Greg Lawson, Built to Bone from Australia. He's going to speak. He's coming back down in March. Robin Terry is going to speak with Estep on the Gacy case up at the R Theater.
Yeah.
Katrina Cooper, Dana Stricker, Kathleen Maka, who's she's a Galveston tour guide. She's written books. She does kind of like the Ghost of Galveston kind of thing. Aaron Stagers and Dustin Perry.
Wow.
Very cool. That are coming.
A bunch of my favorites.
And we have some returning. We have some new ones coming. We try to mix it up a little bit, but so a lot of people coming. They're kind of coming as a gesture, good gesture, because it's a charity. So those ones that did it before will be coming back. But they'll have their booths out. They'll have get autographs. You can get their books. You can get their merchandise. All that good stuff. This year we're doing a little different. The vendors and the speakers will be in one building. So all the vendors will be where y'all were last year. We're going to put more vendors in there, and then right across where the snack bar was, that's where the speakers will be.
Oh, very cool.
Gary, tell them about what's happening on Saturday night.
Saturday night. So Saturday. So after all that, we're going to go to an after party at an old 1890s bowling alley near where we live. And did y'all come down for the Cibolo event?
Monsters.
Part of our old team did, yes.
Tex was down there. He got hurt. He was in the hospital or something when he was down there.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, it's the same town. So this bowling alley, we're doing another fundraising effort where you can pay $100, and there's 24 slots open. I've already sold like 4 or 5. You can bowl with the celebrities. So you'll be in a team of 3 on each lane. There's 8 lanes, and a celebrity will be on your lane with you, and they'll rotate as the night goes on. And you'll bowl for points. So if you win, your team wins, you'll get a prize. We'll do some bowling challenges. We'll have music playing, has a full bar. And then after that's all done, that fundraising effort will open it up to people that want to come in. It's $20 a head. We'll have pizza. There's a bar, like I said, they can bowl.
And it's the old school. It's 8 lanes and has the kids down at the end who actually the pin setters. Like in the old days.
That's awesome.
Old school style. And then the next day, Sunday, we have a brunch activity where it's Solstice Sister Sunday. Our friend Dana Stricker, Kathy, and Christina, they make up the Solstice Sisters. They're going to be doing a little talk, a little demonstration of what they do right down the street from the bowling alley. And they'll have like hors d'oeuvres and refreshments, and they'll be doing readings and Reiki things and all that good stuff. They did it last year. It was a real big success. Had a lot of people come up and come to it, but that's on Sunday. And after that,
a place called Grange Hall that was a World War II barracks that housed Nazi POWs.
Wow.
They shipped Nazi POWs all over the United States, and that was one of the places where they kept them.
Wow.
So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, you can go to LoneStarParacon.com or you can go to CleanBros.com and you can buy tickets. Now I only have like 8 VIPs left. I have about 10 investigation tickets left. I have a lot of speaker tickets available, and I have about 20 vendors.
About how many do you have left for like the after party? We like after parties, Brandy and I do.
we haven't even we have like if you want to do the $100 deal, I got about 20 spots left.
Gotcha.
If you just want to go, we haven't even opened that up yet. So nobody's bought tickets at all. So speaker tickets are out there. You can, if people just want to do that, they can. But like I said, the vendor hall is free, and that's where the celebrities will be. So access to them is completely free.
Yeah, and
any money that's made after the expenses, any profit that's made on any of these events goes to that charity that Barry was talking about.
That's awesome. Nice. That's fantastic. And just want to reiterate to people when like he says you get to meet these people, like you get one-on-one time with these people because there's like the last one, you guys had a good crowd there. However, the lines weren't long to talk to these people, and all the guests that you guys have, they're all very personable and, very nice people. Like, so like if you got a favorite there, you get a chance to talk to them.
Yeah, it's free to go to that part. So you bring family of 10 people, go in and cruise around and buy stuff from the vendors, and and the more the merrier. We encourage you to do that.
Yeah, Yeah. So anyway, well, we appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Definitely, most definitely.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys are always a blast, and enjoy hanging out with you guys for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I wish my internet was better. I'm listening actually to the rain and the wind hitting the back of the house, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't lose any.
Exactly. Where do you live?
What's that?
She's Southern Missouri.
I'm in Southern Missouri. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So
I'm in the big swirl on the map right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had gone up that far yet.
Yeah, she's getting the remnants, and it's supposed to hit
quick.
us. I'm outside of St. Louis, and it's supposed to hit us throughout the night. So, yeah. But definitely appreciate you guys. And tomorrow night we'll be at the Haunted Castle House in Brumley, Missouri, going live from there. Yes, and Paranormal Paul, thank you for filling in for Brandy in case she lost service. So we, yeah, you just never know. And Brandy, she lives in the sticks, so like one day her service is great, and the storm comes through, and she's shot. So
at least she has the right hat on.
Right, exactly.
It's one of my favorites.
There you go.
Should have worn my Missouri hat.
There you go. Well, we will see everybody tomorrow night. And once again, thank you guys.
Hopefully.
And
Thank you so much for showing up. We appreciate you.
Yep. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.
See y'all tomorrow.
Right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.